You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump blunderfest rages on. You have a question for President Putin, based on an article by Tom Bogany. Trump's slip was a signal, not a mistake. The office speaks. A NATO summit press conference, Donald Trump repeatedly called Volodymyr Zelenskyy by the wrong name and substituted Vladimir Putin instead. He tried to clean it up in real time, but the damage was already visible. The President of the United States publicly collapsing the distinction between an allied democratic government and the authoritarian ruler invading it. That is the only context that matters. This was not a neutral verbal stumble floating free of politics. It happened at a NATO summit, in front of reporters, with Trump holding the institutional power and Zelenskyy reduced to the object of the joke. Who owns the moment? Trump made the choice to speak. Trump made the choice to keep repeating the wrong name. Trump also made the choice to correct himself only after the press reacted. The agency is not mysterious here. The president controlled the stage, the microphone, and the meaning. The press can laugh. That laughter is part of the problem. It treats the degradation of an ally and the rhetorical elevation of Putin as a comic episode instead of a political act. When the world's most powerful elected office is used this way, the gaffe framing becomes a lubricant for impunity. The real target, Zelenskyy, was not the only person being insulted. The deeper target was the idea that the United States has any obligation to distinguish between an embattled democratic partner and the strongman attacking him. Trump's language flattened that difference in public. That matters because flattening is a form of alignment. It does not require a formal declaration of allegiance to Putin. It only requires the habit of treating democratic partners as interchangeable with the authoritarian figure threatening them. Repetition turns that habit into policy atmosphere. The cover story of confusion. The softest reading of this episode is that Trump was confused. That reading is too generous to the point of dishonesty. Even if confusion played some role, the political effect is unchanged. He used the authority of the American presidency to normalize contempt for Ukraine and familiarity with Putin. This is how authoritarian politics protects itself. It turns deliberate harm into a question of whether the speaker was merely sloppy. That move is a shield. It asks observers to focus on verbal mechanics while ignoring the hierarchy of power underneath them. What this reveals. The pattern is larger than one press conference. Trump does not just traffic in insults. He uses confusion, repetition, and public spectacle to weaken the moral distinctions that democratic politics depends on. The goal is not accuracy. The goal is to make abdication feel casual. That is why these moments matter. They are not side notes to real politics. They are the political style of a movement that treats allies as props, autocrats as interlocutors, and humiliation as governance. The danger is not that Trump misspoke. The danger is that the office under him keeps making the same mistake on purpose. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Kristen, thanks for listening.